Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about the very, very, very odd booking of Retribution. So, were you excited for Retribution at all after Mustafa Ali was announced to be the leader? I'm pretty sure you and a lot of other people were. Now, some people were kind of like shitting on Retribution. No matter what happens, nothing could improve it. But WWE for 2 straight weeks kind of dogged them out. And on the draft episode of Raw, Mustafa Ali was supposed to explain why he became the leader of Retribution or why he joined Retribution. Didn't happen. In fact, Retribution didn't show at all. They were bumped. So then the following week, the week of October the 19th, Retribution actually start the show. So the Fiend is in the ring with Alexa Bliss. They're holding hands. Retribution circles the ring. It looked like they're going to attack the Fiend. Pretty interesting stuff. They're coming in, mixing it up with a top guy. Mustafa Ali gives the order to attack. The lights go out. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss are gone. A couple of seconds later, here come the Hurt Business. Retribution and the Hurt Business fight. Makes sense. They've been feuding this whole time. So then they announce out of nowhere there's going to be an 8-man tag. They couldn't save the 8-man tag, by the way. People thought maybe the 8-man tag would go on at Survivor Series. Maybe the 8-man tag would be at Hell in a Cell. Maybe the 8-man tag would be something that they would actually build up to. No, they just threw it away on Raw. And not only did they throw it away on Raw, Retribution lost. Clean. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a mark for wins or losses. I'm not a guy who's going to say somebody's buried because they lost. Just very odd decision that Retribution, who is the hottest new act in the company, gets beaten in their second match or third, second or third match. That's their first match at full power and they lose. Clean. Already weird. Very weird. But it gets worse than this. Because then the Fiend shows back up and proceeds to beat up everybody in Retribution. Beat them all up by himself. And I just said to myself, not a mark for wins or losses. Not one to make knee-jerk reactions. But it ain't looking good. It really ain't looking. If you had any excitement for Retribution, I understand why it's gone. Because it doesn't make any sense what the hell they've done to this group in one night. One night. One. They had one night and they got shit on. They got beaten clean and they got beat up by one man. What more can you say? When you treat them like putties from Power Rangers, what more could it be? Perception is reality. Perception is reality. And look, I get it. I'm one of those people that I said kind of during the draft that it was a problem. And I said this during the draft. It was a problem that you had so many heel groups. Now, I'm not even sure. I'm not even going to go into my usual spiel about whether the Hurt Business are baby faces or heels. I'm not even going to go into that. That question still remains, but we're going to go into that. But I said during the draft that it was a problem for there to be top level heels, so many of them, on one brand at one time, and that there would need to be a pecking order established. Now, you would think that you could do that without having all these guys get killed. But they decided, well, the best way to establish that the Fiend is the top heel or top babyface is hard to tell because heels are attacking heels, babyfaces are attacking heels, everybody's attacking everybody. None of this shit has any logic to it. Nobody's explaining anything. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on from one week to the next. I mean, none of this makes any sense. Why was Retribution trying to fight the Fiend? Nobody knows. I mean, I get it. They're Retribution. They fight everybody. That makes sense. That at least makes sense. The Fiend came back and beat them up because they were trying to fight him. That makes sense. But it doesn't make sense that 4 guys got beat up by one. Even if he's a crazy psycho clown. Why couldn't the Fiend just disappear and not be bothered with? Or continue to haunt Retribution throughout the night because they threatened him? Or you could do what you were doing on SmackDown and just not have the Fiend on TV. I mean, I don't know. But this recording is taking place while the show is still going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna peek behind the curtain. I'm gonna give you a little peek behind the curtain. This is my initial reaction to Retribution getting their asses kicked by the Fiend. Now we're gonna pause it, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna finish this video when the show is over. Now, if the show had not improved, if by hook or crook Retribution continues to get their ass kicked, or they don't get any retribution at all, they don't get any comeuppance for what happened to them, they don't cut a promo, they don't do anything, I will be back to continue this message. So Mustafa Ali cuts this great promo, right? Very passionate, the content was good, the message was clear. And he says basically that, his power is creating chaos. With a cell phone, with a laptop, he can create chaos. And he admitted to being the hacker on SmackDown because he says that the superstars are corrupt by the WWE and they're full of greed and they're backstabbers, they're schemers. And that because they're backstabbers and they're schemers, good talent often goes to waste. And that he found this good talent and he recruited them. This is the formation of Retribution. This is Retribution. And he said that if you try to stop the truth from getting out, then he will shut you down. Great stuff. Great stuff. Too bad that the Fiend shit on them earlier tonight. You're not going to just... I don't know what you can do. Because there is nothing you can do, really. The bear has shit in the woods and wiped his ass with the rabbits. That's what happened. A bear has shit in the woods and wiped his ass with the rabbits. I don't see how you come back from it. Mustafa Ali is good. The promo was great. The content was clear. Message was great. I get it. But there's nothing you can do. It wasn't good enough. It's not enough. You're going to have to do a little bit more than that. Because not looking good for the boys. It's not looking good. It's not good. Not good. I'm not one to say Retribution is buried. Not going to say that. I'm not going to jump to that extreme. But it's not off to the hottest of starts. Not looking good. So here's the thing about Retribution. I'm not going to knee jerk and say that Retribution is dead. Anything I say about Retribution being dead is going to be a joke. It's not what I really believe about the characters and the presentation of the characters. My thing is that people said the Fiend was dead, that the Fiend was buried. Nobody will ever take the Fiend seriously anymore. This was in February. All right. It was just in February where the Fiend was supposed to be dead. And I saw people posting in love and memory of the Fiend because he lost one match to Bill Goldberg. And, that seemed like 2 years ago now. It seemed like it was a long time ago. But at the same time, I do remember the Nexus. I remember that when the Nexus had that big match at SummerSlam and they got beat essentially by John Cena by himself, that was essentially the end. The Nexus continued afterwards. They had the Wade Barrett storyline. And I think maybe that's what we're going with here, is that we're going to, because T-Bar is the one who lost, that the goons are going to be goons. And that Mustafa Ali is going to be the one that's going to be protected. Because Mustafa Ali, if I remember correctly, was not beaten up by the Fiend. He was also not pinned or submitted in that match. So they went out of their way to bump and destroy the rest of Retribution. Not really Mustafa Ali. He escaped. But it's not looking good. It's not good. This is terrible. It's terrible stuff. And I feel bad for people who held out some hope. I was one of those people that thought, okay, maybe Retribution is going to be something now that Mustafa Ali has joined. I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for people who have to see stuff that they actually liked or they had faith in or they had some type of excitement for, and it gets killed or crushed, especially if they're younger people. If you're older, you should be used to this kind of thing. WWE kills what you love. It's a writing trope that you kill your lovers, you kill what you love. Sometimes you create a character, you love it very much, and then you kill it because that is supposed to invoke an emotion. Retribution was mostly not liked, if we're being honest. A lot of the people who are going to go on their podcasts, their YouTube channel or whatever, and say that Retribution is buried, Retribution is dead. They didn't like Retribution from the beginning. A lot of them, you know. So it's not like they gave them a chance anyway. You know, it was basically a confirmation bias. You know, we said it was trash anyway, and now we know it's trash, and then there is no accountability for if they're wrong later. If fucking Mustafa Ali is the WWE champion in December or something like that, because I have no idea, and I'm not saying that he will be. I'm just saying if he is, and Retribution is the top acts in the company, nobody's going to go back and say, well, I said Retribution was dead and I was wrong. Except maybe somebody like me. You know, I told people to relax when the Fiend lost. They didn't. They continued to act up and act a fool, you know, and they still acting a fool. You know, they just jumped from one thing to another. But it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Just like when, you know, AEW builds up talent just to kill them like this. It's not good. It's not good when WWE does, and they do it a lot. They do it far too often, and most of the time they do it far too soon. Retribution has only been around for about 2 or 3 months, and Mustafa Ali has only been confirmed as the leader for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and they lost. That fucking sucks. That's fucking stupid. But it is what it is. You know, like, I'm not gonna flip out. I'm not gonna spaz out. I'm just going to say it is what it is. WWE made a lot of fucking stupid decisions. They have been making a lot of fucking stupid decisions. And this is just one of many. There are so many Raws between now and forever. Anything can happen. But on tonight, October the 19th, 2020, I can say safely, the Fiend whooped that ass. And that was not good for Retribution. And it wasn't good for anybody who might be a fan of Mustafa Ali. And it wasn't not a good idea. I mean, you have to ask the question that when these guys were brought this creative, and Vince McMahon or whoever walked up to them and said, oh yeah, you're going to lose to the Hurt Business by submission, clean, not by disqualification. Somebody's going to tap out. That alone should have been like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like, we're barely getting started here. Like, don't do that. But they let that go by. And then they say, oh yeah, we're going to have the Fiend come back out and he's going to beat up all of you. You should have been like, fuck this. That does not work for me, brother. But hey, they don't have the stroke. They don't have the ego. They don't have the constitution of wrestlers in the past. You know? It is what it is. So I take things as they are. Raw sucks. It sucks. Even after the draft, it sucks. What they do with different people fucking sucks. Retribution is just a victim of them sucking. That's why I kind of wish that they would go to SmackDown. But it's so Raw is a desert. It's a desert of creativity and talent. There's just none. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Donate to the channel if you can. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening.